It's Thursday Night College Football on ESPN, presented by Dave and Buster's. The wind is whipping around here in Winston-Salem. So far, the only impact from the coming Hurricane Florence, which is really going to impact everyone here in the state of North Carolina. We actually have a nice night for a college football game, and we will cover the game. It's a big one in the ACC. Boston College traveling on the road to take on undefeated Wake Forest. The college football schedule impacted. So many people here in North Carolina and the Carolinas will be impacted, so we'll cover the game. We'll cover the storm tonight. With that in mind, Mike Bettis, our friend from the Weather Channel, tonight is in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina with the latest on this coming storm.
Hi, I'm Mike Bettis with the Weather Channel, the sports world, watching football and the weather tonight as Hurricane Florence coming ashore along the Carolina coast with wind gusts over 100 miles an hour, heavy rain and storm surge. However, in Winston-Salem at BB&T Field, conditions look pretty good for the game. Wake Forest taking on Boston College with mostly cloudy skies through the game, temperatures falling back into the 70s. However, winds brisk out of the northeast at 15. Dave?
All right, Mike, thanks very much. We will hopefully check in with Mike a little later in our broadcast. The hurricane's starting to hit the Atlantic shore here in the Carolinas. That wind will be a factor. Could be a tough night to throw the ball, which might be good news for BC. They've got a budding star in their running back, A.J. Dhillon. For more on the Boston College sophomore, let's welcome in Paul Carcaterra.
Heisman hopeful A.J. Dhillon. Well, physically, he is an outlier. He's 6 foot, 245 pounds with 8% body fat. And he flies. In high school, he won the 100-meter sprint championship in New England, but he's much more than just a football player. I had a chance to speak to BC coach Steve Adazio. He told me he cares about people. He's bright, and he's a deep thinker. Dhillon loves to explore and capture moments. One of his off-field passions is photography, and he actually owns his own photography company. But tonight for Wake, they have to deal with A.J., the football player, a New England kid playing for BC who has Heisman aspirations.
All right, Clark, thanks very much. And here come the Demon Deacons. It will be a tall task for them to slow down A.J. Dhillon and the Boston College Eagles, who are off to a great start. Both teams trying to stay undefeated here in a very important ACC game. Hey everybody, Dave Fleming along with Dan Orlovsky. Great to have you with us on Thursday Night College Football. We will talk about the storm. The teams have really tried to stay focused, though, on this game because it's so important in the ACC.
And when we look at the ACC and really that Atlantic division, this game for both Boston College and Wake Forest is going to have long-term ramifications and their chance to go hunt down Clemson. And there's a lot of people who think that this Boston College team is the one most equipped to do that. An experienced and dominant offensive line. The bona fide, unquestioned Heisman candidate and their tailback, A.J. Dhillon. But they're going to get tested tonight by a confident Wake Forest team led by a true freshman quarterback in Sam Hartman.
Yeah, so we'll see if the Demon Deacons are up to the task. This has been our pregame, our Nissan pregame rush as we get ready for our opening kick. One of the big questions is, how will this weather impact this game? It could be a nice night to be able to run the football. Now, Wake Forest has been a team that has mostly moved the ball through the air here in the early part of the season. We know BC's ground game with number 2. He is their star. He is their offensive leader. That ground game is very powerful for Boston College. So the wind whipping around. We expect gusts 15, maybe even as the game goes along, even heartier than that, 20-mile-an-hour wind gust perhaps throughout our night. We are underway here from Winston-Salem, a couple hours earlier than we thought we would be. Wake Forest won the toss. They deferred, and a nice kick return for Boston College. They will start with great field position. Michael Walker gets the Eagles very close to midfield. So a heck of a start for BC. Their offense has been totally transformed since they essentially gave the starting job to A.J. Dhillon.
And it's impactful everywhere. They've changed the scheme, the personnel that they play with, and they use a lot of tempo to wear teams down.
It's a rare team that will tempo with power football. Quarterback under center, a lot of tight ends on the field, and yet they go fast. Steve Adazio's team has been a really powerful offensive one since A.J. Dhillon took over. He'll get the ball right away at the start of this one. One theme for tonight will be how hard he is to get to the turf. He took a big hit. I thought the ball maybe even started to move a little bit, but he hangs on and gets a nice first down gain.
It's going to be interesting. All these Wake Forest coaches stressed how important tackling is.
tackling A.J. Dhillon. Not an easy task, but that's how you do it. They stacked him up for no gain. And Cameron Glenn is back on the field, number 2. Cameron Glenn has one of the jobs for the Demon Deacons of trying to get the opposite number 2. Cameron Glenn has missed some time. He was their leading tackler last year. They're happy to have him back here tonight. So an immediate 3rd down for the Eagles. Anthony Brown, their sophomore quarterback, gives it to A.J. Dhillon, who bursts through. There goes Dhillon. And despite his size, he is hard to catch inside the 10. Dives for the end zone. Touchdown. And right away, we see that tremendous ability. 45 yards. The Eagles are on the board first.
It happens quick, Dave. And one of the things that stresses defenses with this BC offense is their multiple formations. Guys can pull, get on the edge, and when Dhillon gets going, you're not going to catch him.
I mean, that is part of what makes him unique. He is 245 pounds, and yet he can really move. Extra point is up, and it is good. So Boston College, great kick return to begin the game, and then on 3rd down, A.J. Dhillon is just a tremendous talent in the backfield. Took it almost 45 yards to the end zone.
And it's just 2 pullers getting on the edge, and the hole is huge. And like I said, getting A.J. Dhillon running away from people, you're not going to catch him. This is, and usually it's a quarterback, right? It's a quarterback that changes your program. Boston College lucky to have A.J. Dhillon doing it at the running back spot.
Maybe one hope for Wake Forest is they have a young quarterback that they feel like is going to really be a great one. Sam Hartman is a true freshman, and he wasn't real highly recruited. Sam Hartman, who overcame a lot of stuff in high school, including a couple different surgeries, played very well at the high school level. His high school program outside of Charlotte, North Carolina was dissolved, so he moved to South Carolina, played for Oceanside Collegiate, committed early to Wake Forest. He is here as a true freshman and has had a spectacular start. A few freshman mistakes, but a lot of big plays for number 10 in this Wake Forest offense. The handoff on 1st down. And Matt Colburn, senior running back, can be a weapon in the backfield, but I think this game is going to come down to the right arm of Sam Hartman.
He's been a lot of fun to watch on tape. Gets the ball out quickly in the passing game. He's tough. They ask a lot out of him. And Dave Clawson, his head coach, loves him. Said the kid shows up every single day.
In this offense, the quarterback has to be able to run the ball. Well, maybe not as much as certain offenses around the country, but Sam Hartman's got to be able to move the ball on the ground. A 3rd down with some pressure coming. Hartman off and running. Hartman takes a big hit but gets the 1st down. So the true freshman will move the chains for Wake Forest. He is a tough kid. One of the things that stood out to us yesterday talking to a bunch of his teammates was how much they love him and his competitiveness.
And you can't fake that. That's an example of it on 3rd down right there. Tough to go get his 1st down for his offense.
A good delivery to his star wideout, 5'9", 170 sophomore Greg Dortch, who gets targeted about as much as any receiver in college football. They will throw him the ball a lot tonight. Hartman is going to go down for the 1st time. That pressure came up the middle from Wyatt Ray. The sack for the big loss on 1st down.
Zach Allen for Boston College, one of their defensive ends, gets a ton of pup, big-time player, but Wyatt Ray will be playing on Sundays.
The sack for a loss of 7, throw across the middle and completed outside the 45, close to the 47-yard line. They don't use the tight end all that often in this offense. Brandon Chapman, the sophomore, made the catch. It's 3rd and 8, and even on 3rd and 8, they use that fast tempo. Hartman gets away for a moment, now heaves it incomplete. And I think he just decided that a pass into coverage might result in disaster. 4th down.
Boston College doing a nice job. That tempo doesn't allow, again, to get those packages on the field. But good coordination, communication, get lined up and just playing basic defense, forcing that throwaway by Hartman.
Michael Walker will receive a punt from Wake. Dom Maggio is their punter. And how big was that penalty on the return that had Wake Forest in great field position? That return was negated. And the Eagles defense stepped up. Their catch, and it's bobbled. The Demon Deacons had it for a moment, but I don't know that they have it any longer. And they do. A huge turnover and a big mistake in special teams for Boston College. Michael Walker usually very reliable.
Walker is one of their sure-handed receivers. One of those basic things, you take your eye off the ball. Wake Forest coverage unit doing a beautiful job getting downfield, putting a little pressure on Walker. And then a bunch of jerseys around the ball, figure out a way to recover it.
I think Demetrius Kemp is the guy who ultimately came away with the football, although Cade Carney had it there too. So a couple different Wake Forest players were on the ball. If you just pretend that's an offensive play, that's like almost a 40-yard gain, and Wake Forest doesn't quite have first and goal, but inside the 15. So that's the kind of play that can be a game changer. Under 5 minutes to go, first quarter. Sam Hartman will throw, and it's caught short. Gain of maybe a yard. Jack Frutenthal, the junior tight end. Connor Strahan has come back in this game for BC. Hartman on the move. Hartman turns the corner, gets away. Hartman hit as he goes out of bounds right near the first down mark. He is a tough kid for a true freshman who weighs just about 190 pounds.
They don't mind putting the ball. Yeah, they don't mind putting the ball in his hands. They trust him.
Quick snap, handoff up the middle, touchdown. That is Matt Colburn. Wake Forest takes advantage of the turnover on special teams and punches it in. The whole game really changed when Michael Walker could not field that punt cleanly. Colburn, who really had a good year last year, has been quiet at the start of this season. His first rushing touchdown of the year. Wake's got a true freshman place kicker, Nick Skiba, and he boots it through for the extra point to tie the game. A mistake on special teams. Michael Walker doesn't do that very often. Wake was there to pounce on it, and just a few plays later, the Demon Deacons took advantage into the end zone. Their senior running back, Matt Colburn. It's a 7-7 game. Boston College turns the ball over. Wake Forest turns that into 7 points. It's a tie game with 4:24 to go in the first quarter here from Winston-Salem. Big game in the ACC Atlantic. Two teams that both feel like, with this division a little different than it usually lines up, at least in the first few weeks. Both of these teams, I think, feel like they can be the team to contend with, to push Clemson in the Atlantic. A.J. Dhillon certainly a big reason why Boston College feels that way. This game has a lot of significance for a week 3 game, first conference game on both sides. Michael Walker, who fumbled that punt, will bring out the kick return, and it drags a would-be tackler across the 25 out to about the 28-yard line. Dhillon all alone in the backfield here, 1st and 10. They'll get the ball again. Straight up the middle with the spin move. A.J. Dhillon out to the 35-yard line. Let's go downstairs to Cart.
Hey, before they took the field, the BC offensive line took it personal. This is a group, all the talk with A.J. Dhillon, there are 5 starters back for BC, paving the way for number 2. And they have the veteran leadership, and communication was on key before they took the field.
Only Wisconsin in college football more returning starts along the offensive line. We know how good that Wisconsin offensive line is. Coming into this year, Jeff Smith on that sort of fly sweep action for a short gain on 1st down.
That's difficult for a defense because you've got a big-time back coming downhill at you, and then you're going to take a speedy wide receiver and run across my face. Good eye discipline by Wake.
2nd and 8. Dhillon deep in the backfield, gets the ball again. A.J. Dhillon nowhere to go. He's trying to squirt under the tackle, and it wasn't A.J. Dhillon. That was Davon Jones. That'll be the final play of this first quarter, and a very competitive first quarter after it looked like Dhillon and the Eagles might run away with this one. 7-7 the score. We'll be back right after this. Well, it's ESPN's Thursday Night College Football. Dave Fleming, Dan Orlovsky here from Winston-Salem. Very nice of Mike Bettis from the Weather Channel to give us a few minutes. Mike is live right now in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Hurricane Florence bearing down on the Carolina coastline. Mike, why don't you give us an update on what the storm is doing right now?
Yeah, this is a big bad storm, guys. No question about that. Obviously having an impact on the sports world. We know that for sure with the game tonight being moved up. But we've got a 100-mile-an-hour hurricane really lashing North Carolina coast right now. We're talking storm surge that could be 10 to 12 feet along the coastline, already breaching a lot of dunes and putting a lot of water into the coastline of North Carolina. I think the one thing that becomes really impactful for a lot of the Carolinas, including here in South Carolina, is how much rain we get with the forecast now calling for up to 3 feet of rain. And so I think, you know, all the different schools that have canceled games or trying to move games, trying to find a bye week to put those games in. I think a really good call. The last thing you want is to have these kind of conditions with the fans in the stadium and the players at risk. It's just a bad idea. But this is a bad storm, and I think a lot of people heeding the warnings and getting out of harm's way. Believe it or not, guys, they've evacuated more than 1 million people from the coastlines here over the last couple of days.
Well, pretty impressive. So mostly to you, it looks like people are safe and sound and ready there in Myrtle Beach and along the coast.
Yeah, it's a beautiful beach here, right? They got a beautiful boardwalk, but it's almost a ghost town, guys. It's amazing to see how many people have left. I think water scares people, as it should, but I think everything's gone very, very well here, very smoothly, and the evacuations have been almost flawless, I would say.
So, Mike Bettis from the Weather Channel, and we really do appreciate it. Obviously, it is a incredibly busy time for him and everybody there, and we just hope that they all stay safe. Important public service they serve in these kind of times to keep all of us aware of the dangers of a big storm like this, and this is a huge storm. And so even though tonight we're here in Winston-Salem and the skies are almost blue, the wind's blowing, it's a nice night for college football. There will be a lot of rain that will fall here all throughout the Carolinas. And we hope everybody makes it out okay. The true freshman, Sam Hartman, picking his way and not going down easily into Boston College territory. Inside the 45, down to the 44. That's 23 yards on the ground.
They rely on this young quarterback so much, and he's so fun to watch. Kind of breathing life into their offense.
Well, Hartman throws a pick. As soon as we say that, he threw it right to Hamp Cheevers, who had the great coverage, and that is what Wake Forest is dealing with right now. You get all the positive from the kid who's just 19 years old, and then there have been a few too many of those.
And he's such a good player, you want to let him be a good player, right? And you don't want to handcuff him.
But the mistakes, he's had 2 of them, 2 picks already for the Boston College defense. We are tied at 7 early in the second quarter. Well, one last thanks to Mike Bettis from the Weather Channel for being with us. That is the weather map as of right now. You can see where we are, about 200 miles from the coastline in Winston-Salem. There will be a lot of rain that falls here, but for now, the weather conditions are absolutely ideal for A.J. Dhillon to run wild, and that's what he's been doing. Dhillon, who had the long touchdown run to start. Now, since then, to be fair to Wake Forest defense, they have defended him much better, but at 245 pounds, he is just so hard to bring down. The defense for the Demon Deacons has been pretty good. 7-yard gain on first down. Dhillon gets it again and will get close. Got stopped maybe a little bit short. Now penalty flag comes in late.
Personal foul, face mask. Number 34, defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Demetrius Kemp with the penalty. Did he get him on the face mask? Well, he ripped under that helmet.
Got enough. Yeah, but Dave, like you said, to the Wake credit, they gave up the big play early on, which is something they didn't want to do, but they've buckled down and played good defense so far.
But a turnover, an interception thrown by Sam Hartman. BC had good field position. Now with a couple runs and the penalty into Wake Forest territory. Dhillon straight ahead. Being tackled inside the 30, close to the 26-yard line.
It's just such a tough play to defend for Wake because everyone's one-on-one blocking behind some double teams from their O-line. And A.J. Dhillon just needs one little crease. And we see 5 or 6 yards.
He's up over 100 now already. There's still plenty of time left in the second quarter. A couple play fakes wide open in the end zone. Delivered on target. Incomplete. He could not hang on. Jeff Smith did not come up with it. That could have been a touchdown for Boston College. I thought it was a pretty good throw.
It's the name of the game for this offense. Run the ball and then take some play action shots. It's a good throw by Anthony Brown. Smith just gonna get that last toe in. But you're gonna see this more tonight. Run, run, big ball play action. You'd love to see Jeff Smith get his feet down.
After review, the receiver got a foot down in the end zone and did maintain possession of the ball when he went to the ground. It's a touchdown.
Well, Dave Clawson not happy about that, but it is a touchdown. He's arguing that there was a bobble in there, but not according to the replay official. So that puts Boston College back ahead. Jeff Smith, who's one of their big play receivers, benefit of the replay. 27-yard touchdown pass and catch. John Tessitore, you know the last name, the true freshman who is doing the place kicking for Boston College very early in his BC career. Booted one through already in this game. Extra point here is up, and it is good. So Boston College with the touchdown pass and the point after, 14-7 lead. And John is 2 for 2 on point after tries. The freshman at BC has a very bright future, and Dad is really proud. Good for Tess. He gets to be a fan tonight. BC with the 7-point lead. Wake Forest will get the ball back.
Now, as a play caller, Warren Ruggiero, their offensive coordinator, let him settle in a little bit.
High snap, handled after a little bobble. A handoff for a gain of a yard. So that could have been a disaster. Big number 96. Ray Smith in on the tackle. Max Richardson, number 14, a very talented, still young linebacker for BC. They got a lot of talent on this side of the ball. This team is not all about just A.J. Dhillon. The long delayed sort of mesh point play with Hartman, pulled the ball back and threw incomplete.
Just settling in. And I've said it once already, that looks a little jittery in the pocket. He's had some mistakes. He's handling the ball.
They're going to hand the ball off on 3rd and long, and that was well done by the BC defense. And who knows, maybe some hangover from those 2 picks. A little less confidence, whether it's Hartman himself or his play caller, in his ability to deliver the ball. That was very conservative from Wake. They will punt the ball back to the Eagles.
And they ask a lot out of Sam Hartman as a young quarterback with a lot of the RPO, the run pass options that they do. But this BC defense has the chance to be dominant, so give them some credit.
John Maggio booms that one. Michael Walker all the way back near the 20 to field it. Got a block and takes a huge hit at the 29-yard line. That's where the Eagles will have the ball when we come back. Boston College leading Wake Forest 14-7.
Since its dedication in 1978, the Carolyn has become a Wake Forest tradition that's often heard but seldom seen. It consists of 29 cast bronze bells. Anthony Tang is in charge of playing it. Every 5 p.m. he plays 5 tones. It's the Extra Yard for Teachers. It's a week-long celebration of teachers led by College Football Playoff Foundation through its Extra Yard for Teachers platform. Visit the College Football Playoff Foundation website at www.cfp-foundation.org to learn more about Extra Yards for Teachers. Gentlemen, the teacher who's impacted me the most, it's pretty simple. It's my father, Lawrence. He taught in the South Bronx for 32 years at PS 118, a middle school. And every single day he came home and he was our teacher. An amazing person and learned life lessons every single day.
Great stuff, Cart. Tougher on you or tougher on his kids? maybe we don't want to know the answer. Anthony Brown, after the loss on 1st down, completes it back to close to the starting line of scrimmage. It's 3rd and 9 for BC. Yesterday when we were walking around campus late in the afternoon, the song I heard on those bells was Leaving on a Jet Plane. I was like, huh, that's interesting. And now we got to see how it happened. 3rd and 9 for BC. The Eagles with an empty backfield. Their sophomore quarterback Anthony Brown. Some pressure straight up the middle. Brown's going to throw on the move. He completes the pass to his tight end Sweeney, but stops short of the first down.
Jay Sawvell, the Wake Forest defensive coordinator, takes Cameron Glenn, one of his safeties, puts him down in a rush position. The athleticism allows him to kind of get after that Boston College offensive line a little bit, force pressure to make Anthony Brown move.
Well, Wake came in with 8 sacks in 2 games, much different level of competition, even for the Demon Deacons, but still, they've done a pretty good job early in this year. Now a high snap. The punter is going to try to get it off. It's blocked, and it's rolling to the end zone. Special teams has been a disaster for BC. It's another touchdown for Wake Forest after a special teams mistake. Malik Great pounced on the ball, and I think it was Demetrius Kemp who got the block after the snap went right over the head of Grant Carlson. The muff punt earlier set up the Demon Deacons in position to get their first touchdown. Now the special teams just took care of it themselves. So the high snap was not handled. Extra point coming here for Nick Skiba to try to tie the game. He does. Steve Adazio's got to be wondering what's going on to his special teams.
Well, I love the fact that Demetrius Kemp goes after the ball. I mean, so often rush guys in that moment are going to go after the punter. Kemp sells out for the ball. That's what affords that block to happen. And then Great's there. Does a nice job of getting on his hip on his side to slide on that ball for a big recovery.
And I will say this, the snap wasn't as bad as I thought in real time. I mean, I think Grant Carlson's got to catch that ball. It wasn't perfect, but he jumped up a little bit. That one went through his hands, though. So there have been mistakes on both sides. Now a very short, almost pooch kickoff. No fair catch, taken outside the 30. That'll be pretty decent field position.
Early and often, and we rely on our big-time tailback to churn up the clock in yards.
And it's a good point you make, because they just keep giving him the ball. He's been stopped a bunch of times for short gains, no games, negative yards. Wake's made a lot of plays like that, but it's just so hard to contain A.J. Dhillon. Boston College is going to feed him the ball. Cam Glenn back on the field, healthy this week. He's made an impact for the Demon Deacons. Dhillon stays in the game. Brown works from the shotgun. That pressure came right away. He had to get rid of the ball. Did a good job of doing it. To find Jeff Smith, get some positive yards. Man, the offensive lineman for Boston College was beaten by Zeke Rodney right at the snap. That was a good play by Anthony Brown just to get something out of that one. Set up 3rd and 8.
This is part of this game tonight, is can Anthony Brown step up on 3rd down and make some throws?
This is where Wake's defense wants to be. 3rd and long, where A.J. Dhillon isn't quite as much of a factor. 4 receivers and a tailback to help protect Brown, who throws a dangerous pass. It is caught, but well short of the first down. Glines hangs on. 4 defenders in the neighborhood. It's 4th down. Wake Forest forces another BC punt.
And it goes back to being good on 1st and 2nd down for BC, because that is a 6-yard completion there, but you're not in 3rd and 6. You're in 3rd and 9. You've been hurting yourself too much.
So Carlson, we'll see how this snap and punt is executed. Jimmy Martin is the snapper. Again, watching that back, I don't think it wasn't a perfect snap. But I think the punter had to catch that one. Last time they tried this, it was a Wake Forest touchdown. This time the punt off, end over end, and a fair catch for Dortch inside the 20. Been kind of a wild game so far. The Demon Deacons looking for an upset win at home against BC. Tie game, 2nd quarter. First down, Wake Forest. Handoff left side running. It's a power running for the junior Cade Carney. He is the power back for Wake Forest. See if the Demon Deacons can get something established on the ground here to help their young quarterback. Hartman takes a high snap. Maybe a designed run all the way. There wasn't much room there. Gain of a yard.
And as much as we've talked about the BC offensive line, Wake and their staff believe that their offensive line is a strength right now, too, for this football team.
Carney motions into the backfield, and they will give the ball to Cade Carney once again. He stopped short of the line of scrimmage, lost a half a yard. Third down. Both Cade Carney and Sam Hartman played for Chad Greer, who is the father of Will Greer at Davidson Day outside Charlotte. Helped coach Sam Hartman get him ready for college football. Hartman on 3rd and long, down the right sideline, and the pass is caught. Over the shoulder catch for a big completion. Steve Claude.
How about that for a true freshman? Rebounded off a tough start. This is something he showed on tape, though. Beautiful deep ball. Perfect accuracy to allow Claude just to drift a little bit.
26 yards. They're going to play fake and let Hartman air it out again. That one dangerously thrown with some coverage close by. Intended for Dortch.
Just watch at the end of that play just how, I mean, that ball's perfect. You can't throw it better. And that's what allows that catch, is the DB's there for that play.
I think they do need to help Hartman build up a little confidence, looking to run, now throws, incomplete. Sort of a half throwaway, half pass intended for Sage Surratt. 3rd and 10.
He got a little pressure from a guy named Zach Allen, who plays DN for BC. He's an All-American. He's going to be a 1st-round draft pick. Incredible athlete, violent hands, loves to rush.
A little huffing and puffing. BC brings pressure, a straight-ahead run. Hartman lowered those shoulder pads. He stopped 3, maybe 4 yards short. We'll see if Wake Forest has a decision to make here. Will they dare go for it on 4th down? I think they're gonna. With their up-tempo. Dave Clausen going for it on 4th down. That pass caught. 1st down and more inside the 20. Still Surratt on his feet inside the 10, down to about the 4. Well, it was a dangerous pass. BC went for the pick and didn't get it.
And sometimes as a play caller, you give your team confidence. And Hamp Cheevers, number 4 for BC, guesses right, makes a jump on the ball. Again, great location by Strahan, or Hartman.
The handoff straight ahead. Cade Carney, BC read that one well. No gain. It'll be 2nd and goal. Well, a very gutsy move by Dave Clausen. I like it. I don't think there are a lot of coaches who do that. A tie game. A throw. Touchdown. Sage Surratt. Wake Forest goes for it on 4th down. They convert. 1st and goal. Took him a couple plays. And Sam Hartman throws for his 1st touchdown of this game.
Sam Hartman does not play like a freshman. And Boston College knows that. And he is not backing down tonight for Wake Forest.
Extra point is good. The Demon Deacons with a 7-point lead.
And leaning on their freshman quarterback down in the red zone. He got him there. Nice little ball fake, drilling that slant into Surratt. And a little bit of post-play talk to Zach Allen. I'm not going anywhere tonight. You got a game on your hands.
Now, this is not a big undergraduate population at Wake Forest, one of the smallest schools playing high-level football. And yet their students are here in pretty good numbers on this early Thursday kickoff. Remember, we moved the game a couple hours up because of the storm that is moving into North Carolina. Wake Forest just took the lead a moment ago. Well, one thing that he does not lack, and we're talking about Sam Hartman, the true freshman, is confidence. You know, one of his teammates compared him to Baker Mayfield. I think there is a little personality comparison to be made. Maybe both feel like they're a little bit underdogs. A.J. Dhillon, there's nothing underdog about number 2. More power running from him. A BC first down. We'll see if they can get that ground game going.
And it's just such a stress to your defense because he gets an inside handoff, and if you don't secure the edges where your defensive ends are on these tight ends, he's going to find it. And once he gets his shoulders square, watch out.
So Dhillon out. Travis Levy, the sophomore tailback, is in on 1st and 10. They will give the jet sweep to Jeff Smith, who's got good speed on the outside, breaks a tackle across midfield. Smith inside the 40 down to the 35. Big play with the speedster on the outside, 30 yards.
One of the things with all these guys inside the hash for BC's offense means Wake's defense has to be inside the hash too. That jet sweep gets the ball right on the edge. It's one-on-one.
Dave Fleming, Dan Orlovsky, Paul Carcaterra, happy to have you with us here. Very competitive game and a high-scoring game in the first half. Play fake. And Anthony Brown trying for the deep ball. He completes it at the goal line and in. Touchdown, Boston College. Kobe White. 2 long pass plays through the air for scores for the Eagles. They don't have to just rely on their star tailback. Anthony Brown, a couple good deliveries. That one for 35 yards.
And give credit to the BC offensive coordinator, Scott Leffler. Run, 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 play action on the previous drive for a touchdown. Here again, run, 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 big ball play action.
And once again, John Tessitore will try to kick the ball through for the extra point. And that's a little movement along the line. The kick is up and good. And we've had a really good one. When you consider the distractions of the scheduling, the kick time moved up. Is the Storm going to be here? Will this game be played? We have had an entertaining college football game here in Winston-Salem. 21-21. That's our halftime score. Adnan of the guys in studio. Take it away. And really, even with that threat of Hurricane Florence, and the rain is going to be here at some point, whether it's tomorrow or Saturday, a beautiful night for college football. On this Thursday, Boston College and Wake Forest tied at 21. Dave Fleming, Dan Orlovsky, Paul Carcaterra here with you from Winston-Salem. Wake Forest, who deferred to start the game, will get the kick to start the second half, and their dangerous return man, Greg Dortch, has been mostly contained by BC. Still on his feet, but just barely outside the 15. That's where the Wake Forest offense and their quarterback will take over.
We've had a little bad and a little good, you know, just staring down some receivers, freshman mistakes. This one, he stares right with his eyes, and Camp Cheever's too good of a corner, but he also hasn't blinked, Dave. Responding with a beautiful deep ball down the field, perfect accuracy, aggressive on 4th down to get them down into the red zone, and then he finishes it off for a touchdown. So I love the good stuff that I've seen from him. Value the ball in this second half. See if you can go win this ball game. Yeah,
you're kind of seeing the full package from the true freshman. A handoff on 1st down. The ground game was productive for Wake Forest, and what a broken tackle for Matt Colburn. That gained Wake Forest an extra 15, maybe even 20 yards. 18 total on the carry for the senior. And right away, a little better field position. That quick tempo comes back. The handoff. Colburn spin move to the 50, bounces it outside. Inside the 35, down to the 31.
How about the spin move from Colburn? A little delayed RPO mesh, the spin move, some breakaway speed, and Wake Forest has got it going.
First down running play. Tackle inside the 15, down to the 14. Leaning on the senior, Matt Colburn. He finished last year very strong. 4 of the last 6 games for Wake last year, Matt Colburn had better than 100 yards rushing. Sam Hartman, the true freshman from Charlotte, looking to run. Hartman to the 11-yard line. 3rd down.
Because of those relatively successful 1st and 2nd down runs, now you're in much more of a manageable situation on this 3rd and 5. Don't be surprised if he looks to Greg Dortch.
Handed off instead, and well defended, a tackle just short. Colburn, I think he thought he had a little hole there, and it closed up. Ray Smith with the big tackle. That is going to send the field goal team out for Wake Forest.
And this is the right call for Dave Clawson. You just went down the field to start this half. Now you're going to have the opportunity to take the lead, and all this pressure now gets heaped on Boston College.
So Nick Skiba, the true freshman. Kick is up, and it is good. Nice opening drive for Wake Forest. They get the lead back, 24-21. Just the first few minutes of this third quarter here from Winston-Salem. And Dan, look, the Demon Deacons, we heard from their head coach, Dave Clawson, at halftime. It has not been a clean game. It hasn't been a perfect game on either side. But I think a lot of people were on Boston College as not just a team that would win this game tonight, but is in for a very big year. They got a fight on their hands tonight.
I was one of them. You know, I have high aspirations or beliefs in this Boston College team, but credit Wake. They've come out, they've fought back. They've made some mistakes. They've got a true freshman leading them, but you got to feel good right now because you haven't played perfect, yet you still have the lead.
Well, this Wake Forest team, I mean, look, they don't have a bunch of high school All-Americans, but they're a developmental program. And they have been tough on some very talented teams over the last few years. Dave Clawson has had enough time to kind of get his system in place. And even with the young quarterback, there's a lot of veteran experience at just about every other spot on the field for the Demon Deacons.
Wake Forest is the perfect place for Dave Clawson because he believes in redshirting and building a program that can sustain. And Wake Forest has been, it's given him that time, and we're kind of seeing it play out on the field tonight.
Kick return for Boston College. Outside the 20. Walker wrestled out of bounds. Let's go down to Paul Carcaterra.
We spotted him 14 points. That's what Steve Adazio just told me minutes ago, referring to the special teams mishaps and the turnover. He also told me in this second half, Dan, they are loading the box on A.J. Dhillon. Look for the play action, my friend.
And Anthony Brown, their quarterback, has answered the call. They got to be better on first down, though. Now, the thing, Wake's been tested a little bit these first 2 weeks. Boston College has not. So we're going to really see what this team's made of here in the second half.
I think it is something to keep in mind. Well, I think there was movement. The Wake Forest players certainly thought so. They started officiating the game. There was no flag thrown, and that pass is completed. And to me, that's a mistake by those kids for Wake Forest. It was a great play by the Eagles. Jeff Smith with the catch for the first down.
Anthony Brown aware that we're still in live play and able to just drive that ball to that sideline. Right to Jeff Smith. Perfect location up over the corner's head.
They give BC credit for the excellent play, but Wake Forest's defenders were not ready. Here is that play action that Kark was talking about. Incomplete. Overthrown. Intended for Lewis. They may have had a point. The center, I think, was the guy they were pointing at. Did he move the ball? Yeah, he did. Oh, he definitely flinched. That's another one of those. How do you miss that? Yeah. Isn't there an official staring right at the ball, right at the line?
It's his job to see that exact thing happening.
Still, though, Wake Forest's players came out of their stances and were not ready for the snap. Dhillon broke one. You can't break 6 tackles all at once, even a guy as strong and tough as A.J. Dhillon. Third down.
Just incredibly impressed with Wake. Doing everything they can to slow down A.J. Dhillon. And here, we've talked about it. Wake, the average yards to go on third down for them is 10 yards for the Boston College offense. I apologize.
Yeah, and you see the numbers, 2 for 9 on third down because of that. That last completion on 3rd and long. But here we go again. 3rd and 7 this time. Anthony Brown making some more changes. Play clock starting to wind down. We haven't said that much tonight. They barely get it snapped. Pressure comes. Brown delivers and juggled but caught by Michael Walker. He hangs on inside the 40. Another conversion on 3rd and long.
This is a night of quarterbacks answering the bell, and Anthony Brown against an inside blitz, delivering that ball on time to Michael Walker.
17 yards on 3rd and 7 into Wake Forest territory. And off Dhillon straight ahead. This time more room down to the 30. He got 7 on 1st down. Well, against Holy Cross and against UMass, there was almost no resistance. And A.J. Dhillon was running free almost every time he touched the ball. That has not been the case tonight. Even with good numbers for Dhillon here against Wake Forest. 2nd and 2. Play fake. Looking deep toward the end zone. The throw is caught. Touchdown. Tommy Sweeney, the tight end. The big plays in the passing game right now. Not A.J. Dhillon. Those big plays are the difference in this game.
I love the throw by Anthony Brown. Everybody at home might be thinking it's behind Tommy Sweeney. He actually places that ball there on purpose to make sure it gets up over that flat defender, and knowing his tight end is such a big target.
Well, Sweeney's a really good player, and he made sure to get the foot down. The ball, I think, did cross the plane. So young John Tessitore for another extra point try, and is up and good. Good answer from the Eagles of Boston College. 2 long 3rd down conversions and then into the end zone.
And we see the impact of A.J. Dhillon again with play action, no rush. Anthony Brown can hang back in the pocket, delivers a beautiful ball to his big tight end, Tommy Sweeney. And BC takes over the game again.
Well, 2 big conversions for the BC Eagles on their first offensive drive of the 2nd half, and in the end, into the end zone. Boston College back in front. We've had a back and forth game. 28-24. Eagles kicking off to Dortch and Wake Forest. Dortch so dangerous in the return game. That quick cut gets out to the 30. It'll be pretty good starting field position for the Demon Deacons. Hand off. Colburn bouncing it. Then he lowered the shoulder. Came up a yard short of the 1st down.
Man, Colburn has been impressive with some sudden cuts tonight.
Dhillon's not the only talented back in this game. Colburn gets the 1st down and more. Out to the 45. He's a very interesting kid. Just like A.J. Dhillon. Dhillon's into photography. Matt Colburn's into music. So you got 2 really good football players who aren't all about football. Here, Hartman's going to run it. That hole closed up quickly. I think he thought he had a running lane. Instead, it's going to be 3rd down and about 5. But especially in the Atlantic, Wake Forest and BC both feel like they can be the team to challenge. We know there's a power on this side of the ACC, and that's Clemson. But I think these 2 teams feel like they can be the team in this division to challenge the Tigers. Handoff on 3rd down. And Carney got close, but he was definitely stopped short, at least a yard, maybe 2. So Dave Clausen has another decision to make here. He went for it on 4th down in the 1st half, and it paid off. And you can read his lips. Go for it. They're going for it. 4th and a yard and a half.
Are we going to find Greg Dortch somewhere inside?
Instead, it's like an option play, and Hartman with a good decision to keep it for the 1st down. That's a wrinkle. I don't think we've seen that tonight.
I love that call out of their offensive coordinator, Warren Ruggiero, because he gets 5 guys across the front. It's only a 1-man read.
This will be the 68th play that the Demon Deacons have run in this game. Hartman, nice positive gain on 1st down. We're not yet through the 3rd quarter. So you do start to wonder about the legs of the BC defenders, who haven't played a lot of football yet this year. 11th play of the drive here. Carney, that running game is starting to be very productive.
And there's a different conditioning. You can run sprints all you want, but football shape is just different. And if you're looking at some of these BC defenders, Zach Allen, an All-American, hands on his hip, they're sucking some wind right now.
And this quick tempo, it becomes such a challenge for a defense in a spot like this. Play fake. Hartman on the move, throws, and he's got his man Dortch, who couldn't quite squirt away. Just the 2nd catch for the star sophomore Greg Dortch. Inside the 10, though, and Wake Forest is not going to slow down.
Their BC is reeling on defense right now from this tempo and execution out of Wake.
So Hartman Little fake handoff, incomplete, knocked away. Waydale Jones, the intended target on the slant in the end zone, 3rd down. Man, Zach Allen is gassed.
I would be too. This is probably 10, 11 plays in 2 or 3 minutes getting run right at him.
This will be the 14th play of this drive. A pitch late. Hartman took the hit. Carney tried to deliver the hit, but got stopped, and Hartman is going to be very slow to get up. Ouch.
And a defense that's getting pushed around a little bit. Their All-American safety, Lucas Dennis, comes up and make a beautiful open field tackle, and Hartman feeling a little bit.
Wow, and they're going for it on 4th and 2, and Hartman, he is feeling it. You wonder whether they might need a timeout to let him catch his breath. At least they'll give him a few seconds. They've been very bold on these 4th downs. They're 2 for 2 so far in this game. This is a huge play near the end of the 3rd quarter. Pressure comes, picked up. The fade is caught, no, incomplete. Intended for Dortch and knocked away at the last moment. Tajamir Torres with an excellent play on the ball. BC takes over.
They get the exact play you want for the coverage BC's playing. BC's in an all-out blitz, 0 coverage, the inside fade from the slot. Dortch with a stick step to get open. Beautifully thrown ball.
Wow, he should have caught it, don't you think?
No doubt, but credit Tajamir Torres for finishing through that football play.
That was it was a good play by Torres. That was a terrific pass by Hartman.
We've seen some drops tonight out of the Wake guys. You got to help your freshman quarterback out.
Yeah, that's supposed to be the strength of their team, their wide receiver core. Handoff, A.J. Dhillon. BC could do well to keep the ball for a little while and give their defense a rest. They are going to get the rest in between the 3rd and 4th quarters. Hartman could barely get off the field. I mean, I give him credit for delivering the ball. He was hurting after the hit on 3rd down. They went for it on 4th down, and he put the ball where it needed to be.
And that's one of the things playing quarterback in this system is you are asked to run the football a little bit. You're going to take some shots. And I'd love to see the Wake veterans make some plays for the young quarterback on the outside.
So they didn't take the 3 points. They went for it on 4th down. That means they trail by 4. The Demon Deacons trying to pull off an upset here at home. We go to the 4th quarter, 28-24 BC. You're watching the ACC on ESPN. It could be a wild year in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Highly entertaining game here tonight in Winston-Salem. The Hurricane pounding the coast. We are okay for tonight. Boston College and Wake Forest 28-24. A.J. Dhillon, the star, back for BC. Finally some running room. Gets 9 yards on 1st down. First play of the 4th quarter. Eagles have the ball, leading by 4. A.J. Dhillon had the run on the first drive. 3rd play for BC that went almost 50 yards for a touchdown. Second half, he's got 23 total yards. But the Eagles have found a way to move the ball through the air. Dhillon gets another carry. 1st down BC. Out to the 20.
Man, when he gets that ball going downhill, he hits that line of scrimmage quick. It's almost impossible to stop him on a 3rd and 1.
But it just feels like such a big 15 minutes for both these programs. They both, each 2-0. They haven't played real strong schedules at the start of the year. They have big aspirations this year. And I think both of them feel like this is a major swing game. First conference game on both sides. Dhillon broke a tackle, jumped over another would-be tackler, and gets almost another 1st down, another 9 yards for the sophomore A.J. Dhillon.
There's just one of those arm tackles that Wake Forest talked about, saying we can't plan on tackling A.J. Dhillon that way. What we're going to get out of BC right here, this drive is a little old school football. I would expect a heavy dose of A.J. Dhillon for the next 15 minutes.
For, among other reasons, they need their defense to get a blow. Play fake, and a wide open receiver, Smith, caught inside Wake territory. Off to the races, and they can't catch him. Touchdown, Eagles. The play action works again, and the speed of the senior Jeff Smith. 71 yards.
We're going to watch Jeff Smith on this motion with speed come here, and then he's just going to hit the corner There's going to be a play-action pass, and there's no stopping on his route. It is full speed, head of steam down the field. And there it is again for Boston College. Run, 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 play action.
We give Demetrius Kemp credit. He tried, but he's a linebacker. He is not going to catch Jeff Smith. Tessitore with the extra point try. It is no good. And I don't know if something happened with the snap or the hold. He kicked it right into the line. And that will keep it a 10-point game. That's significant. So BC, their defense bent but didn't break. They got the ball back, and then this. Anthony Brown with a big play through the air again.
And I love the fact that they brought Smith with speed down the field. Anthony Brown having a huge night play action.
Well, Jeff Smith with the long touchdown catch and run. The extra point was not made, though, by BC, so it's a 10-point game. Wake will return the kick. Greg George trying to bounce it to the outside. Little dead leg kind of move outside the 25. Takes a hit at the end of the play. And again, no flag thrown. That was borderline. Big play here for Wake Forest. Under 13 minutes to go, 3rd and 6. Pressure picked up. That throw is caught for a first down outside the 45. And a penalty flag thrown at the end of the play. Maybe a face mask on Connor Strahan. So that could be some extra yardage on top of a big gain of 17.
Personal foul. Face mask. Number 14. Defense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Well, BC is going to bring a cornerback blitz right here and another guy off the edge. How about the job by the tailback picking up the corner, allowing Hartman to sit in that pocket and drive the ball downfield.
He had 2 guys open in the same spot. Decided to go to number 3, Greg Dortch, who's had a relatively quiet game. On first down, Colburn straight ahead running. A nice positive gain inside the 35. Wake Forest went for it on 4th and goal. Did not take points on a short field goal last time they had the ball. 270 rush yards for the Demon Deacons. Play fake here, and that pass is incomplete. I think the throw was sort of interrupted in the backfield. Hartman was being harassed. It's 3rd down.
Good pressure by Max Richardson to kind of force that missed throw by Hartman. But right now, if you're him, you're thinking 4-down territory.
Ball gets snapped. Another handoff. Colburn cuts ahead. Stops short. Well, I certainly think you're right. Wake Forest will be going for it here. It's going to be 4th down and 3. Maybe Sam Hartman. He's had some keepers, some option type plays on plays like this. Not this time. He's throwing it, and he's got his man. Complete first down. George not going out of bounds. Cut it inside. Well, no, they're going to spot him back, I think. There was a little confusion with the linesman. He is inside the 10. It'll be 1st and goal.
I'm telling you, that speed to get into the line of scrimmage forced BC to play a little vanilla off coverage, easy completion.
And they do it here. Play fake, slant, incomplete. And a penalty flag thrown. Brandon Sebastian on the coverage, intended for Steve Claude. BC arguing that the ball was tipped.
There is no foul for defensive pass interference. 2nd down.
So I guess it was by Zach Allen. And he zipped that in there with so much force, it's almost hard to believe that Allen got a finger on the ball, but he did. It's a big play, 2nd and goal. Handoff, Colburn, straight ahead, inside the 5. The way that Dave Clawson has played it tonight, I mean, it feels like they'll be going for it again, but you're down 10 points. A field goal would be valuable. 3rd and goal. Pressure picked up. Hartman going backwards. Keeps the play alive and throws it incomplete. Man, they brought everybody. Hartman kept the play alive. A helmet came flying off.
He got away with one there because his sack is huge. Athletic enough to make that miss. Good throwaway. And if you're Dave Clawson, you've got to kick this field goal and make this a 1-possession ball game. You can't have another drive that you've gone down the field result in no points.
So even though he avoided the sack, they're still not going to go for it. 4th and goal. It'll be Skiba, the true freshman, from 23 yards out. Wind shouldn't be too much of a factor. Whipping around just a little bit. Good hold, and that kick is right down the middle. Skiba executes. Wake Forest cashes in another long drive for 3. They're down a touchdown to BC with 11:13 to go. Quick keys for that matchup yourself.
I had TCU last week. You know, neither of those teams have really been tested. What Gary Patterson could do on defense against Dwayne Haskins, Ohio State's hot quarterback.
Look at the play action success. Pitch play to A.J. Dhillon. BC, despite all of that, just a touchdown lead. Dhillon along the sideline lowers the boom. Gets knocked out of bounds outside the 45. Another long run for A.J. Dhillon, who's approaching 200 yards on the game. 21 on that carry. He is so explosive, so powerful. You figure he's getting the rock a lot in the final 10 minutes plus. He gets it here on first down. Just has to lean ahead to get 3 yards.
He's just such a big body, and he's quietly had almost 180 yards tonight. And give Wake credit, they have done a pretty good job. It's just some of those chunk runs have really hurt them.
2nd and 7, play fake. They'll give it to Smith, who gets a block and gets the first down. Inside Wake Forest territory. Nice game. Jeff Smith is having a heck of a night.
And there's Boston College offensive coordinator Scott Leffler, a guy that I actually had as a quarterback coach during some of my time in the NFL. Very smart, and he's been impressive tonight with a lot of the play calls they had, understanding the talent, the skill that they have, how they utilize it, and I love how he's slow in tempo down here just a little bit.
Up by a touchdown. Dhillon driving Wake Forest defenders ahead, but finally gets driven backwards.
You know, Dan, you mentioned BC known for the big, burly offensive linemen in the run game, but make no mistake about it, I've watched this team the last year and a half now. They have dudes on the outside, guys like Jeff Smith, who just checked back in, the jet sweep guys, and Steve Adazio makes no bones about it. He thinks this is his most athletic team.
Smith has 42 yards rushing on 3 carries, 145 yards receiving, plus 2 touchdowns. Another play fake. Brown deep middle, intended for Smith. It is incomplete, and no flag thrown. There wasn't a real play on the ball by Cam Glenn. And maybe a little contact, but no penalty. It's 3rd and 8.
And it's really that speed that we've talked about and Clark just mentioned down the field. Almost a catch of the year by Jeff Smith. Cameron Glenn just getting in position for a pass breakup. And that's how this team's a little bit different than a BC team of old. The vertical speed down the field.
And maybe Cam Glenn slowed up just enough to avoid contact and get the penalty flag thrown. It's 3rd and 9. Brown, short drop this time. Again going over the top. It is caught inside the 5 and touchdown. Ben glides. What a throw and catch. 40 yards. The 5th touchdown pass of the night for the quarterback, Anthony Brown. Coverage was good. Not good enough. Wake fans know that that was a huge one with only 8:48 to go.
It's really an example of a play caller saying, let's go win the ball game. Take a shot on 3rd and long.
Well, one of these already has been blocked in this game, and this is another important one, this time up and through for the extra point. And if you said coming in who has the advantage at the wide receiver spot, and this isn't a knock on BC, I think Paul was right. They have speed, they have athleticism, but Wake Forest believes they've got as good a wide receiver core as anybody in the ACC, and they have not quite played to that level tonight. A few plays left out there. BC's wideouts have.
And they probably have a case, right? I mean, Wake Forest's receiving group is very good. With that said, Boston College's kids have made play after play down the field.
This one's going to be returned, not by George. They've done some movement back deep to try to get George the ball. Not this time. Swing pass on first down. Wake Forest. They are used to going fast. They have to go fast now, down 2 touchdowns with 8.5 minutes to go. For them, still plenty of time in this game.
And the tempo will surely help them, but you're probably going to have to air it out a little bit more.
Hand it off to Cade Carney. That's a first down, so you stop the clock momentarily to get things set. And that typically gives the Wake Forest offense enough time to get organized and basically get the ball snapped without much time ticking off. The classes are going to be held here tomorrow, and it probably will start raining sometime tomorrow. We're 200 miles away from the coast, and we certainly are thinking about all those folks in eastern North Carolina, in South Carolina, along the Atlantic coast, because we're happy we've had a football game. It's been a fun game, and we're glad that it was played, but we also realize that Hurricane Florence is starting to hit, and we understand the winds have really started to batter the coast here in North Carolina. 100-mile-an-hour winds or so. Sam Hartman takes a big hit at the end of that completion. Clock stops. Now starts again after the first down. Wake Forest has to hurry. They need a touchdown, and they need to get it quickly. Hartman dancing around, and he can't take a sack. He does. Wyatt Ray gets him to the ground. He's had a nice game rushing the passer.
They love him opposite Zach Allen because of the physical talent. He's got the opportunity to be an elite player for them.
It's his 3rd sack of the game. Hartman throws, and that one is caught. A nice effort to get the foot down. Dortch then goes out of bounds. 3rd down coming up. Obviously 4-down territory from here on out for the rest of this game for Wake Forest. Ray comes again, and he gets another one. Just blew right by the right tackle, and Wyatt Ray has a 4-sack game. That was no contest.
It's just speed off the edge. Swipe the hands away, get home on the quarterback. And he's got that skill level, that talent level for that speed rush around the tackle.
So it's 4th down and long. Wake Forest has to convert here. There was a flag thrown. That might have been an offsides. Hartman dancing around, looking downfield. He basically has a free play. That one is caught along the sideline, and that should be good enough for a first down. We'll see what the penalty is.
Offside. Number 2, defense. Penalties decline. Result of the play is a first down.
Say what you want about Sam Hartman. He's winning his teammates over again tonight, making some plays. Surratt does a great job. Scramble rules and coming back to give his quarterback an option.
That throw across the middle, nobody there. He takes another hit. The true freshman is going to be feeling it after this game. He has taken a pounding.
He keeps getting up, and if you're Wake and some veterans on their team and Dave Clawson, you have to love what you've seen on him. Toughness.
Handoff. Well, I mean, that gets some positive yards, but the clock is not the friend of Wake Forest right now. 3rd down. Maybe a play just to give the quarterback a moment to get himself back together. Hartman throws on another nice delivery for another first down. So I say first down, that's short. They got to get this one now. It's 4th down coming up.
If you're Wake, you run the ball here. You probably run the ball, get a yard, have a plan for first down.
It's a long yard, and they're going to take time to get an adjustment along the sideline. And precious seconds are ticking away. At this point, it might not matter that much. At this point, you might need a touchdown and an onside kick. That throw is completed, and with the big hit hanging on, Dortch for a Wake Forest first down. If you scored in like a minute, maybe with the one timeout, you could have kicked it off. Dortch is hurting. He does not want to come out of the game. They have run, look at that number, 101 plays Wake Forest has. Hartman in scramble mode again. Throws, it is incomplete, out of bounds. Dortch, nice effort. I think he's cramping up. The 102 plays have gotten to him.
As much of it is a difficulty for BC and their defense to defend 102 plays, it's a lot to ask for your offensive guys too. That's a close one on the sideline right there. I want to know if They stepped out of bounds just before the catch.
That was a good call, I think, by that official. Dave Clausen didn't think so, but he may not have seen the first part of that play. But first things first, the first step is to actually get there. Hartman will throw that one away.
And again here, third down. You're running your offense here because it's third down, trying to get something to give yourself a chance for a short fourth down conversion if necessary.
Yeah, they actually hand the ball off straight ahead and get close down to the 5, stopped a couple yards short. So once again, the game is on the line here for Wake Forest. They at least have some options here on 4th and 2. They fake it to Dortch. Hartman throws middle and through traffic completes it for the touchdown. That was a heck of a throw. Jack Fruchtenthal, the tight end. BC's going to have to sweat out the last minute 33.
Get Dortch moving a little bit, get the pocket moved for Hartman. You talk about tight windows. This kid has not given up, and Fruchtenthal with a tough catch in the end zone, and Wake still in this ball game.
Because it took as long as it did, 1:33 on the clock, only one timeout. Essentially, you're going to have to get the onside kick. That kick is up and good, so that's big. That cuts it to a 7-point lead. If you had all 3 timeouts, the situation might be a little different. Here, you got to come up with your best special teams play, and special teams has not been the star for Boston College in this game tonight.
This is one of those moments. Do you have one of those unique onside kicks, whether you trick them, you go one way, you kick it back the other way? Because if you're Wake Forest, you feel pretty good. If you get this onside kick, that you're confident you can go tie this ball game. And they've got some size. Waydale Jones is a 6'5" receiver. Surratt is almost 6'3".
And I will say this, they've got several different place kicking options, but Darren Ford is going to be the guy so he must be the onside kick specialist for Wake. So let's see how much he's been working on this. What the Demon Deacons have here on special teams. Get the artificial turf. Sometimes that helps for a big bounce. So Ford, here it comes. Big hop and taken by BC. Nice aggressive play in special teams that basically should win this game for Steve Adazio's team. Kobe White, the wide receiver. Good job by him.
I love how he attacked the ball. You know, on these onside kicks for those guys who are going to be the receivers of it, essentially. Go get the football. Beautiful job by Kobe White right there.
And for the people here, a night of college football, and they've got to get ready. I mean, they're saying that it could be 10 inches of rain here in Winston-Salem over the next couple days. And that is enough to cause some serious problems even this far inland. So even for folks here, take care of this weekend. A couple extra seconds. Brown dancing around, now goes down. Smart play. Well, Boston College tested for the first time, and they really were tested tonight, but they will stay undefeated, barring just a total disaster, at Purdue in week 4. Now, that's a pretty interesting game. Purdue's been disappointing, but Purdue has some talent. That won't be easy, a second straight road game. Then you get home for a Temple team that's struggling and get into the meat of the ACC season, and it looks to me like, based on that schedule, they have a team that can challenge Clemson in the Atlantic Division.
That back end of October, Miami, VTech, Clemson, 3 weeks in a row, or 3 out of 4 weeks is going to be a test. But, you know, the folks in North Carolina with this storm, you got to give credit to, hopefully they'll take something from this Wake Forest team and how they've fought tonight, not quit. Because there's going to be some people who are going to have to hang in there with this storm, lean on this football team a little bit.
Oh, those last few moments were well managed by BC, just making sure to take enough time off the clock that will be the final play. You know, Steve Adazio, Dave Clausen, they have had some good ones here in the ACC the last few years. Always feels like a swing game in this conference, and this year, 2018, it goes to the road team. The Eagles, 41-34, will be the final score as the last couple seconds tick off the clock, and who knows? And it's been a while since Matt Ryan and Boston College were players on the national stage. This might be a BC team that can do that in 2018.
They're equipped to get to 7-0 before that Clemson game. And Clemson, for the dominant defensive line that they have, we saw it tonight. This Boston College offensive line can hang.
So a big win for the Eagles on the road, 41-34 over the Demon Deacons of Wake Forest. Coming up next, Sports Center for Paul Carcaterra, for Dan Orlovsky, for our entire crew. Dave Fleming saying so long here from Winston-Salem. Be safe, everybody. Sports Center coming up in 15 seconds.